Hello dear watcher, here's Christina again, and once again I'm more than metal. You probably have clicked on the video title because you either were triggered by it or you are on the same page as I am, because the video title of today's video is I have a problem with Christianity and it is personal. But before you begin to start to write an angry comment, hear me out. I have two stories for you to tell from my personal life. I was born in Germany, in the very south, which is a pretty conservative Christian region in Bavaria. It is, if you will, like the Bible Belt of Germany, basically. So I was born in 1990 and I was schooled in 1996. I always behaved in a very feminine way and never like a typical boy would do. And as a handicraft teacher, we had a Catholic nun because the school there where I went had nuns in these classes like handicraft. So the nun completely disliked me just for being who I was. I did not act like a boy. I did always act as the way which was normal, or which is still normal for me, like a girl did, because I was a girl, but I hadn't had the appearance of a girl. So in other words, I was a trans child, and that the nun hated. When I was alone with her, she wanted to know what's inside down there, you know? She hurt me a lot and she molested me. She raped me, and throughout 2 years, every Thursday, I witnessed absolute hell on earth. From 1996 to 1998, I had hell on earth. I multiply and really often prayed to God to help me, but God wasn't there. God was busy. Another story from 2024, when I began a new job, which was a complete new beginning for me because the field I started to work was a complete new deal to me. In the city hall of the town where I was born at. And in order that for me that it was complete new land for me, I relied pretty much on my co-workers to feed me with information necessary in order for me to pull off my work like it had to be correct and to avoid any mistakes. So I really was super cautious about this. And over time it kind of was a little bit weird at work. Something was a little off, a little bit fishy. I just continued to do my work, but every day when I worked and every day when I came to work the day after, there was something to discuss with me because I didn't do that. That's I had to do, but I wasn't aware that I had to do it because nobody has told me to do that and that it was my task. So that pattern kind of re-emerged over and over and over until I kind of knew that they didn't wanted to have me around, You have a little gut feeling sometimes when a group of people doesn't want you to be around. They began then to ignore me, not even saying good morning anymore. And yeah, after a few months I had enough. I thought to myself, okay, I cannot sleep pretty well. I'm pretty nervous all the time, and I'm so glad I can leave the work when the workday was over. So I went from work. And you know, the city hall in this German Christian Bavarian conservative town was also filled with co-workers who told me constantly they will go to church on Sunday and they will do this and this and pray to Lord and blah blah blah, you know. And on my last day, ironically, after I went home and arrived at home, my phone rang and the team leader was on the phone giving me a call and apologizing for all that happened. She told me she is so sorry how the people there treated me. And I asked, do you know why they treated me? Because they always told that they are so loving Christians and that, loving your neighbor and all this gibberish, which most of them say. And then my group leader told me that they heard my voice, and my voice is not a typical female voice, so they assumed that I'm trans, which is correct. I'm a trans woman, and they didn't like to work together with a trans woman. And because of that, because of me being who I am, because of me being a trans, things unfolded the way it did. They ignored me. They skipped feeding me with necessary informations in order for me to do my work correctly and to succeed in my new job I began, And again, the pattern is repeating itself, like with the nun, conservative Christian. My co-workers in the city hall, conservative Christians. It's weird, and it's really bothering me. It really pisses me off. And that's why this video is called I Have a Problem with Christianity, and it's personal. But, and this is but is with a capital B, because I cannot just say that you are a bad person, because in school back then I also had to deal with another nun. Her name was Teresa. We called her Schwester Theresia. She was an angel of a person. I really liked her. She was loving. She was caring. She was really a true beauty of a person. On the other hand, in the city hall where I was working, I had a co-worker named Anna. She told me also that she's a Christian and she went to church every Sunday and then she's praying and stuff, And I told her that I'm not a Christian anymore because of what I have been through. But she respected me, and she was the only person talking to me like I would be a human being. I felt like a human being because I am still a human being. And all the other persons treated me like I would be air or something. And that's why this video is having a but. Because I cannot say everyone of Christians is a bad person. And I cannot say everyone of a Muslim is a bad person. And I can say everyone of this group or that group, Because I'm aware if I point with a finger, 3 of my own fingers are pointing at me. And this is not a video to create more division. I really just wanted to create this video because I've seen what recently happened and what happened in this world, especially in this political world, in this political climate, and due to the recent events with the assassination, people are so fired up in stomping down on trans folks. It's just it's just disgusting and it pisses me off. I also remember that people were telling me this trans thing wasn't a thing back in 2020 or something, that we people suddenly emerged from, I don't know, from a spaceship or something. Let me tell you one thing. Magnus Hirschfeld had his sexual research center in Berlin in 1919. The fucking Nazis burned down his library. 1994, the film Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was released, which shows trans folks again in the complete wrong light. It portrays them as usual as villains, but that was back in 1994. So you cannot argue that we people just suddenly emerged from outer space, you know? It is ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. And the whole purpose of this video is not to put more oil in the fire and to create more division. No, the whole purpose of the video is to bring a little bit clearance into all these actual heats worldwide, because we trans folks are having enough. I am having enough the way America and the president is treating my friends. I'm totally fed up with that. And I'm totally fed up with anyone who is a fundamental Christian, a fundamental Muslim, or a fundamental, I don't know what, extremist. Because I think you guys aren't Christian at all, or religious, or following your God. You are just in a death cult. And I really do like to put a nail in that freaking coffin, because we do not need totalism, fascism on this planet anymore. I know how it was for my grandparents in Nazi Germany back then. I know how it was. They told me a lot about these things, and we do not need it 2.0. I thought a lot if I should make this video, because everything has consequences. And you know, I thought to myself, what would Jesus do? Jesus would speak up, because he would speak up against the con Christians, fake Christians in drag, playing dress up as Christians. He would speak against that. And you know, I'm not pretty religious anymore, but I have a moral compass, and I do not dig when a minority is getting stomped on its head because some weird fascist wannabe guy wanna show some muscle, you know. Not with me. And you know, the funny thing is, I have so much people in the comment sections, maybe down here in this video below again, telling me, you know what, girl, no matter how much surgeries you do, you will still always be a man. And guess what? I agree with you, because in a weird way, still in a satin blouse, in a tight skirt and heels, I somehow manage to be more man than you will ever be. I agree with you. No matter how many surgeries I do, I always be more man than you, even if I look like a sissy. And you know, the weird thing is, the most hate comes from the people having crosses in their bio. Lord is king, Jesus is king. You know what? Spare me with your Jesus shit. I do not need that, because you have these in your bio, and all it tells me that you are a fake Christian. You call me a fake woman, I call you a fake Christian. But we really have to learn to sit together on one table again. Because what happens when I cut myself? What happens if you cut yourself accidentally? We all bleed red, no matter if you are tall, small, obese, thin, Asian, black, African, European, gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or not. We are all living beings and we all do bleed red, exactly like my blouses. We need to relearn to come together again, because you can have your religion, you can pray to your God, but you cannot tell me that my right to exist should be terminated, that I should be not existing because of who I am. That's not how it works, you know?